Welcome, Ms. Dzerowicz. It's a great pleasure to have you with us again. Let's begin by talking about the We Charity case. And I would like to ask you if you could explain exactly what happened to our audience.
Sure. So on April 22nd, the Prime Minister of Canada made a big announcement to say that $9 billion of support was going to go to helping our students here in Canada. So as you know, in Canada, March 15 was when Canada went on a complete lockdown. And so after the complete lockdown, because we had to make sure people stayed at home, did not go out, businesses had to close. And so the federal government started a series of programs to support our businesses, to support workers, to support a whole series of different groups within our society. So April 22nd, we made the announcement for students, because students, and when I say students, I'm talking about 18 and older. These are students that are going to post-secondary education, university or colleges. And we knew they couldn't finish their year. We knew they probably would have a hard time finding any jobs. And we didn't know what was going to happen sort of like come up September. So we said, you know what, we are going to support them. We're going to help them with helping them to find jobs. We're going to create jobs for them. We're going to increase the amount of money they can get for support for to go to university and college. And we're going to create a volunteer program. And the WE program is actually the volunteer program, okay? Mm-hmm. So that was one of 4 key programs we announced that was part of the $9 billion. So what happened is, because we had a short period of time to create the program, our bureaucrats, so the civil servants who work for the government, came up with the program. It's a $912 million program, and it was meant to be run by WE, so it's a charity in Canada, and it's supposed to have provided anywhere between 20,000 and 100,000 placements, student placements, within nonprofits across Canada. And if you work for every amount of time, like for every 100 hours you work, you get a certain, or volunteer, you get a stipend, so a grant. So it's not meant to be an hourly wage, but it's supposed to be a stipend. Mm-hmm. Now, what ended up happening is, the controversy is that our Prime Minister and our Minister of Finance voted in favor of this program in cabinet, and they should have abstained. Mm-hmm. Because what happened is the Minister of Finance, his daughter works for the organization, so that's one. And for our Prime Minister, several of his family members actually have earned money by the WE organization in the past. Now, both the Prime Minister and our Minister of Finance a few days ago publicly apologized, said it was not appropriate for them to have taken part in that decision. And there is a full ethics investigation going on right now by our ethics commissioner. And so that's what he's looking at right now. I'll also say, unfortunately, the program is canceled. Because what happened is We Charity saw all the controversy around it, and they basically said, we're pulling out, because with all this bad negative press, we can't be sure to be able to provide the program in the way that it needs to be created. So they basically said they've pulled out. And so right now that program's in limbo. But it doesn't mean the 3 big other programs that we have for students are still underway. They're still very helpful to our students. And here in Davenport, we actually created almost 200 jobs, and we had $950,000 to create Canada Summer Jobs. And I'm really proud that we have so many students working for these great organizations in my riding of Davenport.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. Let's talk a bit about the economy for now. Bill Morneau, Canada's finance minister, has recently warned of eventual permanent change to the country's economy because of the pandemic. Should Canadians be worried?
Well, I'm more hopeful. I'm always one of those people that sees everything the glass half full, and also I'm a key decision maker, and I have a lot of confidence in our government, and also in our institutions. We have a very strong banking sector here. and we have a very strong governor of the Bank of Canada. And I think that if you look at all of the estimates of when the economy is going to go back and grow again, we're looking for growth starting next year. So this year will be a tough year for all of us. But I think that the economy will absolutely come back. It will be a different economy because the world will have changed because of this COVID-19 virus. We've now learned how to go and do things more digitally as we are this interview. I would tend to come into studio, but now we're doing this, over a couple of countries and over sort of some telephone lines. But so now we're becoming more digital. So I think everybody's relooking their business. I think it can be for the better, but there's going to be change. There's going to be a lot of jobs that were lost because it's the old economy. And now we have to shift into the new economy. But I will tell people that there are training programs all over the place. So for those who've lost jobs, maybe in manufacturing, I say to them, there's a lot of retraining programs going on right now. And if you live in my riding of Davenport, we're starting to advertise all of those job programs and all of the free training programs. There's a lot of new jobs, new ways to actually earn a good income if you're interested in actually training up once again.
Okay, let's talk about an eventual second wave in Canada. A recent poll shows that 77% of Canadians anticipate there will be a second wave. They are quite worried about it. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think we're all expecting a second wave, but we're hoping that the second wave will be completely different than the first wave. The first wave, we had to shut down the whole economy. In the second wave, what we're hoping to do is what your most advanced countries around the world are able to do right now, which is as soon as someone is identified as having COVID positive, we're able to identify through contact tracing immediately who that person who's been in touch with. Then we contact immediately those people and everybody self-isolates so that we don't have to shut down parts of our economy anymore. We actually made a big announcement that we've given $19 billion to our provinces and territories. And it was all about the Safe Restart Agreement. And a big portion of that Safe Restart was for personal protective equipment, the masks, everything that we need for our businesses and for our medical professionals to keep safe. And two, it is for the testing. We want maximum amount of testing. If you feel you might actually have been exposed or you don't feel well, go get tested right away. There's lots of testing. We do it either you get the same day the results or the next morning. And then we have contact tracing, which means if you've been identified as being COVID positive, that means automatically we are able to contact everybody around you immediately who you've been in touch with over the last couple of days and ask everybody to self-isolate. And that allows us to then isolate where are the COVID-19 cases and so that we don't have to shut down big parts of our economy.
Okay, those contact tracing apps, they are raising some concerns on privacy, for instance, right?
Well, yes and no. The one we're developing is ones where we, all it is if you download the contact tracing app on your phone, and it's not yet available in Ontario, but it should be any day now, okay? Mm-hmm. So we're just about ready to launch it. But as soon as, say, if I downloaded the contact tracing app on my phone and I was COVID positive, my phone would be the one that would actually automatically send out a notice to the person. So it wouldn't mm-hmm. say, hi, Teresa. It would just say, send you a note to say, you have been in contact with Ms. Dzerowicz, and you should know she's just tested positive for COVID-19. Please get tested and self-isolate yourself. So essentially it won't have your details, but it won't have your name, it won't have any of that information, and then it automatically sort of is deleted. But that goes automatically to anybody that I've been in contact with.
Okay. According to the same survey I was talking about, 93% of Canadians feel it would be too risky to travel to the US this summer, and 85% said that the Canada-US border should remain closed until the end of this year. Do you think that's likely to happen?
I know we have over 80% of Canadians that believe we should be closed for quite as long as possible. And I think December sounds right. I think we're looking at it on a month-by-month basis. And, no one feels safe right now to go to the United States, and no one wants to see Americans come here and travel as well, because Canada, we're keeping our numbers very low. And our economy's been very harmed by COVID. And so we need our own space and safety to be able to restart our economy. And we do not want to be dealing with big cases of COVID-19. Okay. So do I think it'll be done close until December? My sense, honestly, is it'll open maybe slightly before then, but it really has to be seen that the U.S. has really kept their they've gotten to the level where we're at right now. And if they're not able to do that, then I see our border being closed for as long as it takes, because the health and safety of Canadians is the #1 priority for our federal government.
Mm-hmm. We know that the immigrant community in Canada has been particularly hit by the pandemic, especially the migrant farm workers. The high infection rates are a problem in Windsor, Essex, for example. Can you tell us if there are any specific helps targeting these communities?
Yeah, it's a great question, Teresa, and many people don't know this. My mom's from Mexico, so I have a particularly big heart for migrant workers who work on farms, because most of them come from Mexico or Central America, as well as the Caribbean. So I'll tell you, there's 3,500 farms in Ontario. And where we're having an outbreak is only in 10 to 12 farms. So just to let you know, because what happens is the media often makes this is a big problem in all the farms. Actually, most of our farms, they are doing a wonderful job of protecting our migrant workers, providing safe places for them where we don't have any COVID positive tests. But in 10 to 12 farms, and it is located in the Leamington area, so the Windsor, Essex area is problematic. So right now, we are all working together between the federal government, the provincial health authorities, the local Leamington municipality. We're working really hard to try to get as many workers tested as possible, and then basically to isolate those that are sick and take care of them, because we don't want to be seeing any more deaths, whether they're Canadian or whether a migrant worker. We have set aside money to put migrant workers in hotels, okay? So we will pay for someone to stay in a hotel to take care of them, make sure they have food and the care that they need while they recuperate. And then, we are also paying farmers. We have a pool of money for farmers to be able, if they need to create spaces, like sometimes your bedrooms are too close together. Well, if we even have a fund to be able to help them do that. So I will tell you, it's a top priority for all of us, but I want people to know this isn't a widespread issue in all of our farms. It is actually isolated to very few of them, and we have all levels of government tackling this issue right now. And I think within the coming days, you're going to be hearing some good news that we have. We're now controlling the situation because we've been working very hard night and day, every day to resolve this issue in Leamington because it's, it did get out of hand on a number of farms. And so again, one death is too many. And I think we've had 3 deaths in the migrant community, and it was too many deaths for us.
Okay. I've done all of my questions. Ms. Dzerowicz, I don't know if you want to leave a final message to our community.
Yes, well, I want to just mention something, because there's so many wonderful small businesses in the Portuguese community. I want to make sure everybody knew that the federal government extended the wage subsidy. So the wage subsidy, for those that don't know, is that the federal government will pay 75% of the wages of employees of a company up to $847 a week. And we've extended the wage subsidy program until December. And why that's important is because we wanted employees to continue to be employed by their employers, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm working from home and there's so much instability. But we want to give people some idea and some confidence that they continue to have a job. We want to help jobs or employers and companies to be able to have time to get back on their feet again as the economy restarts. So it's really good news. We did extend the wage subsidy until December. And then other than that, I just tell everybody, you know, please continue to keep safe. Ontario's now moving into phase 3, which means our bars are beginning to open and you're able to sort of sit inside of restaurants. But I tell people COVID-19 is a really serious virus. It really, really is very harmful to people who get sick. And please continue to take this seriously. Until we get a vaccine, no one is really safe. And I just say to people, if you're going indoors and it's a public space, please make sure to wear a mask. Please make sure to wash your hands frequently. If you're sick, please stay at home. The federal government has given money to the provinces to pay for sick days, okay? So even if your company doesn't normally pay for sick days, the federal government's given the money to the provinces and they're supposed to come up with a program that allows you to stay at home, and no one should be able to say, oh, I feel sick and I don't want to miss money from work, from not going to work. Please don't go to work. We need you to stay at home and know that we have money out there to be able to support you if you happen to get sick. So I just tell people, please, you know, continue to take this virus seriously. Please enjoy your summer. You know, I really miss seeing the Portuguese community. I really look forward to events starting up again so that I'm able to see people again. And I really look forward to a vaccine so I can give everybody a hug once again.
For now, it's a virtual hug. Thank you very much, Ms. Dzerowicz.
Muito obrigada. Thanks for everything. Thanks for this great interview.